Welcome back to KP's Kingdom, Cooking with KP, and today I'm going to show you how I make my pickled daikon radish. Okay, that beautiful Japanese big red or white radish. Right, first thing I've got around about 2 cups of water into a saucepan, and all I'm going to do now is simply add 2 cups of white vinegar that goes straight in like that. I'm actually using a double quantity because I'm making 2 recipes this time around. That goes in, and I'm going to add in my 2 teaspoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt straight into that. Going to put the heat on. We're going to bring this up to a bit of a simmer and make sure we get everything dissolved. Stir it from time to time and make sure that everything's dissolving off nicely. Very, very simple. This is only going to take you around about 10 minutes in total. And this is our brining or pickling liquid. Okay, so once those all dissolved, put the lid on. That way no contaminants will get in. We're going to remove that from the heat and let that come back down to room temperature. Okay, now time to get our thoughts together about how we're going to pickle and what we're going to pickle. The other thing we're also going to do is we're going to get a nice big pot, get that up to the boil with water, and we're going to sterilize our jar. Okay, so very carefully put that jar into the boiling water, just like that, and we're going to let that boil off for approximately 3 minutes. You can leave it a little bit longer if you want to, but just remember this is going to be extremely hot, 100 degrees Celsius or centigrade, and we want to be very careful when we get it out. We're going to maneuver that around a little bit and make sure everything gets sterilized nicely. You can actually use a sterilizing liquid if you want, but this is a much simpler way. Use a good pair of tongs. I'm using my barbecue tongs, which I've had for like 20 years, and use an oven mitt. Be very careful getting rid of the water out of the jar. Sometimes that will come down the handle of those, and look, it's 100 degrees, it's going to burn you. Alright, tip that upside down on a rack and let that dry out. I've got my daikon radish, and I'm simply just going to peel that using a vegetable peeler. No rocket science to this. This is really simple. I do take the top and the tail off on the radish. We don't want any of that. I'm just going to simply do that. Remove all that skin, and we're getting ready to make our little slices of daikon. I'm using a mandolin set on around about a 5mm thick setting, maybe a little bit more, and use the guard. And you end up with these nice little strips of daikon, and daikon can actually be quite tough, but you can stir fry it. When you stir fry it, it does soften up. But look, back to the job at hand. I'm just simply going to use my chef's knife and cut these into little batons, just like that. No rocket science. So we cut up with the mandolin, make that sheet, and then we'll just run across that with the knife. I'm going to put that into a separate bowl. I've also got some red onion that I put through on the mandolin, very, very, very fine, and I'm talking very fine. Okay, now it's time for us to start putting this into our jar. Get that daikon and get the onion, and just jam that straight into that pickling jar, right? And look, we don't need to have these facing a certain way. They can go any which way. I'm just going to put them in very, very simply, just like that. Jam as much as you possibly can in there, and that way you won't need to use as much pickling liquid. Alright, and if you haven't had pickled daikon before, you don't know what you're missing. It's just a real simple, clean flavour. In goes those red onions, and those red onions are going to turn our daikon radish a nice little shade of a very light red. Looks really funky, looks really cool. So stick all of those in, and before you know it, we're getting ready to put our pickling spice in. And our pickling spice is 2 teaspoons of black pepper, white pepper, coriander seed, mustard seed, and also 2 teaspoons of an allspice, or pimento as it's also known. Just things you can buy straight off the shelf in the supermarket or your local greengrocer. Alright, now I'm just going to add in our pickling liquid, which is nice and sterile and at room temperature. Fill that up until it comes right to the top, just like that. And look, if it overflows or whatever, so be it. A bit of mess to clean up, it's not going to hurt. Close that off, just like that, and there we go. We've got the start of our pickled daikon. Alright, I'm going to sit that in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks, and before you know it, 2 weeks will be up and it will taste amazing. I do give it a shake from time to time just to mix those spices through. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that like button. It gives me confidence. It should make you feel warm and fuzzy too. Please share this video with all your friends on all platforms of social media. We're trying to get the name of KP's Kingdom out there. Hit that notifications bell to be notified every time a new video goes up. More importantly, you want to learn how to make some nice little preserves like this, really interesting recipes, or anything else I've got going on. You need to come and join the family, my family. Hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss another one of my videos again. Alright, I'll put these in the refrigerator for 2 weeks and then I'm going to go and eat them. In the meantime, I will catch you next time. Bye!